Hello, tubers. How are you today? Well, today I'm going to go over another passage in the Bible. This one is going to be from the book of Matthew, chapter 16, and I'll be going through verses 13 to 19. And so here we go. Oh, I'm going to turn on this little thing here. It speaks a little more, it reads a little more eloquently than I can, so let's hear it out.
When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremias, or one of the prophets. He saith unto them, But whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Okay, so let's go over this particular passage. Let's start at the top here. Basically, this is the part where Jesus is with the disciples or the apostles, and so he's asking the apostles, uh, "Who do what do men say that I am?" And they all say, "Well, some say," and they said, "Some say that you're John the Baptist, or Jesus is asking, uh, uh, whom do men say is the Son of Man?" And so they said, well, maybe it's John the Baptist. Some say Elias, others say it's Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Then Jesus said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? And then Simon Peter responded, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And so basically that's an important part there, because beginning it says they said that, the Son of Man could be John the Baptist, Elias, and all these other people. And then he repeated it again. Jesus repeated it again. Well, whom do you think I am? And then that's when Peter said, you are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. And bingo, that's when Jesus knew that 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 he can give the keys to the kingdom to Simon Peter. He also responds, says, blessed art thou, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee. When he says, for flesh and blood hath not revealed unto thee, Jesus Christ is talking regarding when he on Calvary, when he was at Calvary, when he died on the cross, where he shed his blood, and he was crucified on the cross, where his flesh died, right? So Simon Peter had the faith that Jesus was God in the flesh, and he said that this before I have died on the cross, and you're blessed because that blessing is coming from God the Father. God the Father has blessed you, and you have the faith and the belief that I am God in the flesh. So that's when Jesus said that I can build upon this rock, because at this time Jesus knew that his days were coming to an end, and as like anybody else, as you live on your life and you get older, you kind of tend to know that you're going to die or you're going to pass away. And so maybe you have a prized possession, maybe you have a 68 Chevy Camaro that you've had for 30 years, and you might have been diagnosed with cancer, and you're trying to figure out, who can I give this prized position that I've been holding on for 30 years and cherishing and nurturing, not nurturing, but babying this particular car, your pride and joy, and you're deciding, who can I give this car to? Who's going to appreciate it? So when Simon Peter answered that you are the Christ, then that's when Jesus knew that he can build upon the church, upon his rock, between on top of Peter, because Peter had the faith, and I'm going to build my church. So basically, he was saying, I'm going to give you the keys of the kingdom, because he knew he was going to pass away. Jesus needed to give the keys to somebody. He needed somebody to take this mission forward. And when Simon Peter said to him that you are the Christ, and Jesus Christ knew that he can give the keys of the kingdom to Peter. The other thing that I wanted to mention too was that, regarding what it says here, whatsoever shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever shall be loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. And I went to this particular website here, gotquestions.org, and it says here, the apostles were encouraged that as they moved forward in their apostolic duties, they would be fulfilling God's plan in heaven. When the apostles bound something or forbade it on earth, they were carrying out the will of God in the matter. When they loosed something or allowed it on earth, they likewise were fulfilling God's eternal plan. So basically, what this means is that God and the apostles and Jesus Christ, they were all kind of in tune with each other. It's almost like when you have a married couple that have been living with each other for 20, 30, 40 years, and they can finish each other's sentences. They're so in tune with each other. They're so in step with each other that they're one and the same. So this is what Jesus Christ was saying. He says, you can have the keys of the kingdom, and your decisions, your actions are going to be just like the actions that I would have taken. So don't be afraid. What you bind on this earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on the earth shall be loosed in heaven. So Jesus Christ was giving them the authority to make decisions, but he knew, because the apostles thought just like Jesus Christ and God the Father, that everything was going to be taken care of, that there was not going to be any problem. There was not going to be any negative things happening. They knew that they were all in step and stride with each other. And then when Jesus Christ said, I'm going to, upon this rock, I will build my church, a lot of people said, well, because of this, that Peter is the first pope of the church. And, that's, what people think and what people say. But basically, when Jesus Christ said that, that I will give these keys to the kingdom of heaven to you, and he proclaimed that, whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven, he was basically proclaiming that you are the one that I'm going to build the church. So these are the things that I wanted to mention in this particular passage. That this is how Jesus Christ kind of came to the realization of who he can pass the keys of heaven to, because he was kind of worried or concerned. That's why he asked that question. He was probing the apostles, who can take the reins after I die, and Simon Peter was the one that spoke up. So I hope you gather some information from this, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And as always, God bless.